Learning and Future Higher Education, Professor Toru IIyoshi.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is my great honor to be here, and I'm most grateful to Chairman Dr. Mahathir Mohamad, CEO Mr. Junaid Said, and all the other HLAF staff members and everybody here. I would also like to congratulate on the launch of the HLAF online learning program, HOPE. I firmly believe the program will contribute significantly to the disseminations of good values and knowledge throughout Malaysia, Asia, and beyond. So I've been asked to talk about technology and innovation in education today. I'd like to start with this slide. So I just took two book covers, the magazine covers. One is kind of typical. The left one is a typical educational technology magazine. So it's just talking about all the kinds of technology can be used for teaching and learning. But the right one is a Times magazine. It's interesting, special issue. And there's a group of researchers who actually decided to do this quite wild, innocent classroom research, which just telling basically kids in the classroom, if you score better on the next test, we could give you cash. And without changing any pedagogy, without giving any new technology, pretty much all the students scored better on the test. So this could be the end of my talk, but need to continue, but how we could best use technology here. So my point here is so that there are two aspects, at least of educational innovation. One is kind of educational civilization. So this is advancement of technology. But the other aspect is education culture. Even we have the most advanced technology in teaching and learning, if we are not with with good values and a good culture, this won't do any good. So again, this is kind of where I stand in terms of educational innovation. And I like to show you, this is kind of icebreaker, a few kind of funny pictures. So how we are envisioning the school in future in Japan in 60s. I was in elementary school. This is how home could look like. I took these from the juvenile magazines I was reading, and I was really fascinated about all these future visions. And strikingly, this is how the classroom could look like in 21st century. The big computers in a classroom, but also it's very striking to see it's a robot teacher. Robot teachers is beating up some bad students. So that's talking about the value and the culture here. I'm glad this is not happening in Japanese school classrooms. They're talking about educational data center, and well, to make your dreams really wild, this is a flying school. I don't see this is not coming anytime soon, and I hope, and I'm glad. So anyway, in reality, so several years ago, education testing service created this amazing technology called Criterion, which is kind of robot teachers, but grading people's essay written in English. So they've been actually using, so with TOEFL, GRE, and all those standardized tests. And people might be wondering if we should do this, and having robot teachers, to grade, some students' essay, really can't get the meaning, but at least it could look at the structures of essays and the grammatical things and so on. And somebody really bright came up with the ideas of use this technology in the classroom. So what this can do is, so instead of one teacher is grading, so all the students' essays or writings, have this, to do some basic checking, like grammars, basic structures, so that the one person, the teacher, could spend more time on kind of a deeper, higher level, thing when she or he looks at the student essays. So this is freeing up some human teachers, time and effort, and really have students, human teachers, do whatever he or she can, only she and he can do. And at Carnegie Mellon University, this has been going for at least several years. They've been creating this online course, quite personalized and for mastery learning, and using the artificial intelligence applications here. And it's all free. And when you join this free course, there is a lot of interactions between you and the system. And it's according to how you respond, the system will give you some personalized some quizzes, or lessons. But the best part of technology like this is this gives you and your teachers immediate feedback on about the process of your learning, not just outcomes of your learning. So that if you have 100 students in your class, have your students to take something like this before they come into the class, then you could see how your 100 students have actually done. And then you can immediately tell, which was kind of a difficult part to understand by your students. So you could maybe start your lecture there. So this openness is very nice, and because it works as a noise reduction system in education, and make the processes and outcomes more visible. And so to further embrace openness in education, when I was in the United States and working for this Carnegie Foundation for the Advancement of Teaching, I decided to embark on this book project. It took 3 years. And it's done in 2008. And around that time, there are a lot of things going in terms of the openness in education. So really, I wanted to harvest, the wisdom and accomplished practices, all over the world, and have these leaders in open educations to think and talk, to each other, to come up with some visions for the future education. So I don't have time to talk about this book project, but here are some goals for the project. And in that book, there are 3 sections. And one is open technology, open content, and open knowledge. I'm going to take you through these 3 things very quickly. Open technology is open source, open source educational platform. It could be a learning management system, course management system, e-portfolio system, or some evaluation system. And since many of these are now in open source, schools and education systems can really take advantage of this without paying to somebody's product for somebody's product. The second area, the open content, this is really flourishing, right now. There must be over hundreds of thousands, of open educational resources available online. And many of you, might know this was really, this was becoming really visible in 2001 when MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, started this open courseware, and they announced making the course materials of, approximately 2,000, so all their courses. And they're still doing, and as of 2010, over 2,000 courses and course materials were available online for free. And many universities and colleges around the world have been following this path. And now I work for Kyoto University, and we started this about 10 years ago. And we have about 400 courses openly available online. And there are, some many other kind of projects like this open textbook project called Connection, started by Richard Blanik at the Rice University. So that thousands, of school teachers and college professors around the world contribute the sections, chapters, of the textbook for any area. And the users, students, other teachers can mix and match all these components of textbook and create kind of customized some textbooks, both available in the form of like a PDF, or using this online on any electric devices like this. So the third component, open knowledge. This is really the heart, of me and my colleagues at the Carnegie Foundation work for 10 years. And actually, the Lee Schulman was educational researcher, and he was heading Carnegie Foundation for 10 years while I was there. I was talking about the kinds of teaching and learning knowledge, like this. Pedagogical knowledge, how to teach. Content knowledge is what to teach. But the most difficult and actually exciting, interesting part is the pedagogical content knowledge, to teach what, how we need to teach. So, but it's very high level kind of knowledge, and it's only backed up, by great teachers' wisdom and experience. And so at the and as you know, the teaching and learning is very complex. So learners, instructors, resources and tools, and there's pedagogies, and all the very complex interactions among all these components make good teaching and learning. And there's learning context. So how we could make this kind of education knowledge and experience portable and shareable. And that's how we decided, why we decided at Carnegie Foundation to take on this very intellectually challenging work. So the good news is many things, including student data, evidence of good learning, available online now. But how we could examine, select, and organize all these things and turn them into what I call visually appealing and intellectually engaging knowledge representations, so that teachers can share and build on each other's work. So this kind of knowledge needs to be created, shared, and used. And so now at the Kyoto University, we hosting this kind of system and tools, and I was using the same system at MIT, but I was really originally created at Carnegie Foundation, and so being used by hundreds of thousands of users worldwide. And if you're interested in, please let me know. Maybe we could make this available to the teachers and students in Malaysia too. So to summarize this part of my talk, if we could openly share all these educational tools, resources, and knowledge, I think these three things, wonderful things could happen. First one is increased quality of tools and resources. And also we could learn how we could use them more effectively. And then finally, we could collectively build great and individual pedagogical knowledge. And the second part, second half of my talk will be pretty much on what's going on online learning, and also the future applications of that. So again, going back to the book, I came up with these three areas. So the book was done in 2008. If I'm asked to do this again now, I would add another section called Open Practice. And this is what the MOOC, Massive Open Online Course, is all about. And the New York Times declared the year 2012, the year of MOOC, if you remember. And I think many of you already know how this happened. Is about 3 years ago, the two instructors at Stanford, one was actually Stanford professor and one is from Google, he was a researcher, who were teaching this introduction to artificial intelligence course to roughly 200 undergraduate students at Stanford every year. And they decided to do some experiment in making this course live online, and so that everybody can register and take for free. And to make that long story short, over 100,000 students around the world, including those adults, registered. And about 7,000 people were able to complete the course, meaning they could take test online and also pass that course. And so this was inception, of this kind of booming thing called MOOC. And in the US, two big platforms emerged. Coursera is a for-profit, and edX is a non-profit. It's kind of associations of top universities. And so now it's over 1,000, some MOOC courses available just on these two platforms. It's just amazing, and I call this a battle royale by a teaching staff professor. And I think big shift is happening with this movement because when we are doing open courseware, that was really a competition among universities and colleges. So MIT made 2,000 courses public, and University X tried to do more. But in the age of MOOC, all we focus on is individual teachers. So teachers, no matter where they are from, could compete, not just compete, but collaborate maybe to teach us. I thought I have, sorry, I just saw that 1 minute left, but it has been only 80 minutes. I think my talk's supposed to be 30 minutes. Is it right? Sorry? Oh, okay. I'll try to finish up. I thought it's a 30-minute presentation, but so anyway, so around the world, all the regions, this is flourishing, and people can get certificate. And in one way, we could do this kind of a cup noodleizing, some teaching and learning, like 6-week course, 14-week course, 4-week, some course. And also you can see it as a mega liberal arts education, right? Now it's thousands of MOOC courses available for free. You can, take whatever, you like. So, you can take dozens of hundreds right? But then we really ought to ask, what kinds of knowledge and skills learnings are gaining in all these groups? So it's not just, or otherwise it just looks like this. Professors as educational iron chefs. So this is a cooking contest of how to deliver the good education, and learners asked to eat as much as she or he can eat. So whereas their intellectual appetite is a big question. So all you can learn. So it's a good time to do this kind of thing because the world really needs this. And I really like to show this quickly. The first MOOC, now we have 5, 6 from Kyoto University, which is very unique. How unique it is, I'll show you a 2-minute quick video here, which introduce this online course, free online course. Sorry, audio is not working, so I'll go with plan B here. That's okay, maybe something's wrong, but I could use this.
Creative and innovative ideas are essential to success in any business. However, few of us have had the opportunity to take a course on creating ideas. In high school education, the chemistry and biology are usually treated as separate subjects. In university education, however, separate disciplines are often integrated into a single discipline in which many different ideas can be created. This ethics course focuses on the integrated field between chemistry and biology, which allows you to learn how to create new ideas. In fact, many brilliant scientists have created excellent ideas at the interface between chemistry and biology. The goal of my course is clear. I want to teach the class that I wanted to take when I was an undergraduate student at Kyoto University. In this course, you are asked to come up with your own research ideas based on the content of each lecture. Your ideas are then evaluated and compared with actual research projects. In taking this course, I invite you to enter the world of chemistry and biology. I want to share my personal experiences as a scientist both in Japan and in the United States. The chemistry of life will change your life.
Oh, thank you. So we ran this first time last year and just did the second one this year, and we'll do this again next year. So if you're interested in having your students, or you could take it by yourself, please take this free online course. And as you just heard, this is not about just sharing knowledge, but I really help students develop their skills, creative skills, and come up with some new ideas based on what they have learned in chemistry and biology. So again, I don't have much time here, but some creative kind of exercise, built into this. This is the chemical structures of useful medicines, and the middle one is anti-depression, some medicine. And the chemical structures of that, students were asked to look at the chemical structures of each of these medicines and design the mascot character which resemble visually like this. So this is a girl dancing on the floor. This is anti-depression thing. And to then go on, and there is some very creative exercise built into this MOOC course. And of course, this 20,000 people around the world from age 8 to 104, people taking this. And so there's no way this professor could score, evaluate all these assignments. So we introduced this peer evaluation system in this and using these rubrics. But it wasn't easy because students wanted to be evaluated by that professor, not the peer students. So our discussion board became very, lively, to say the least, because people are not quite happy with the grades they were getting, by given by their peers. So we improved this this year, and I think people are happier, so now. Another thing we did is we actually placed a contest, learning contest, and we selected 20 top students. And I'm glad to see you see the Malaysian flag here, and it was one of the finalists, from Malaysia, and they did this presentation, online video presentation contest, and we selected 6 finalists, and we invited them, some Kyoto University campus for 1 week. And they interacted, with our students, and so this is a blended. Blended means online and face-to-face, but also blended international and the national, here. Maybe I thought this is 30 minutes presentation. I have 4 more minutes, but if I ought to, I'd be happy to stop here. Can I finish? Thank you very much. And our president have been very intrigued by this, and he decided to do his own MOOC. And I'm gonna skip this presentation, movie trailer-like presentation for the sake of time. But if you're interested, please visit this website and see this 3-minute video of this upcoming. So it starts October 29th. And so, you're welcome to join this. It's a very exciting course, and to talk about human evolutions and social behavior. And again, MOOC is not just for college education, reaching out, to high school, middle school education, some basic skills building is going on in that realm. And but the last, really, the point I really like to make, here is when we talk about 21st century education, I always ask, students what the learners, must be. And they say teachers. And it doesn't mean they want to be school teachers. Well, of course, some of them want to become school teachers. But they want to teach as they learn. That's what they mean. And so in other words, this teacher-student relationship, has been flattened in this digital world. And my good peers, Eric Mazul at Harvard, have been working over 20 years on this peer instruction thing. Now is really empowered by modern technology to do more, even online. So my fantasy, it's called Amateur Academy, is where everybody can learn from and teach to each other. And there are a growing number, of learning places online, communities online. This is an open study. And I sent some of my students, Kyoto University students there. One of them, sent, he asked some questions, learning questions, and some other students from other country responded immediately. And he said the sense of being connected was so incredibly real. That's how students these days, feel, online. So I decided have my students not just sit and learn in my classroom. These days, one of these exercise activities in my general education course is have students to teach to each other, designing, developing MOOC. So, they enjoy, but they also learn how difficult it is to teach, to each other, too. So teach to learn, teaching to innovate. So it was a bestseller 5 years ago in US, Do-It-Yourself University. By taking advantage of these growing numbers of educational tools and resources available online, this is about lifelong learning. You might have heard this a T-shape, person started in Silicon Valley, I think 10 years ago. And Tim Brown, the CEO of IDEO, started talking about this. So it used to be, we had just one kind of a domain skill pillar, here. And nice to have multiple perspectives and communication skills. But with open education, we could go further. So we could further extend, this horizontal thing. But you could have multiple specialties, expertise, here. And the world, I think, is increasingly becoming like this. Just these people with multi-talented people, connected, together. And this makes this a seamless integration, of working and learning in this openly networked society. I think as my last slide before my final remark, and I'll make these slides available for you so that you can read this later. But the higher education is really radically changing these days. Not just higher education, but also school systems. And we ought to think about the new education policy and the social needs. And I really like to stop here to share this, my favorite quote. And John Dewey said 100 years ago, if we teach today as we taught yesterday, we rob our children of tomorrow. I tweaked this a little bit and came up with this: if we learn today as we learned yesterday, we rob ourselves of tomorrow. So thank you very much. Sorry I exceeded 2 minutes. And you can download this, the PDF versions of slides, at this. If you cannot write down right now, please come to me later. I'll share this with you. Thank you very much again. I'll be staying here through the whole day, so you can just grab me anywhere.
Do you have any questions from the participants? Yes?
How much investment did you have in terms of manpower and technology to develop these MOOCs? Can you just share something on that? Okay.
Thank you for the question. It depends. There are some MOOCs, just do it yourself kind of MOOC. Professors putting a little video cam on his desktop and teach, and that's a MOOC. But also there is a BBC quality, Discovery Channel quality MOOC, and you can guess the rest. It's very expensive too. So I can't generally say how expensive. The one we just I shared with you, Chemistry of Life, it costed us $50,000 without personnel, so just the production side of fee. But we can talk later, about this.
Yes.
It used to be that people actually learn in order to get a good job. Do you think now with all these new methodologies and so on that people really are learning for learning's sake?
Yeah, and in like country like Japan, it is really true. People really studied hard to get in the good college, to land on the good job. But again, the sustainability of that job is very questionable these days. So that's why, as we all know, the lifelong learning is becoming so important these days. So it's not just about getting good job, but of course, getting a better new job. I think it's better job should be the people's incentives. And the good news is, the help is on the way. It's there, available. So it's just a matter of how you want to approach and how you want to take advantage of, this, all free, open digital resources in education, too. And yes, that could be a very strong incentive. That's why I first show the bribing kids could be a very good incentive. So that wasn't a joke.
Any other questions? And participants, could you please relay your name and from where before asking questions?
Hi, my name is Nizam. I'm from UITM. In general, mobile learning can be defined as a type of learning that takes place through a portable device which provides its user to meet the needs. So what is your opinion about smartphone apps? Smartphone apps that we normally use today nowadays can be part of it as our education tools.
Oh, you're talking about how useful smartphone?
Yeah, because nowadays people is directed change into these smartphones.
Well, it's
so what's your
about
opinion?
just, I mean, yeah, well, smartphone is very handy and it's just in-time learning. That's a great device. But, to do some complex exercise, smartphone sometimes is not, screen size is big enough. So I think, but watching the lecture video, that's a perfect, device, unless, professor writes a lot on the blackboard. So again, it could be a very flexible and smart, how you could best use, that kind of technology. And of course, we need to have smart device like smartphone and pad and all different kind of devices for different purposes.
I have a question, Prof. It is amazing the knowledge that is accessible to everybody today. How do employers respond? When you interview, you advertise a position, you look at the formal qualifications that students have from good universities, their degrees. However, the culture is changing and you have people learning in a new way and have access to this new learning. But do employers recognize or this kind of learning that somebody would put on their CV, for example?
I think it's happening. Some people include how many certificates of MOOCs, particular MOOCs they have on, LinkedIn, right? So people start including that to show, what kind of expertise they have gained. And right now it's just a form of certificate, but I think it's just the beginning, Unison here.
Last question from the floor. No more questions? Thank you very much, Professor Toru Iiyoshi.
Thank you very much again.